Hello you guys and welcome to the channel. If you're new, don't be.
I'm Whitney. Keep it cute and get the boot. Love and Joy of Robert. Written allegedly by JOCELYN Savage. All those who need to heal, grow, and live meaningfully, please do before it's too late. Joy. The start. At the beginning of my teens, I knew I wanted more for myself than I was currently experiencing. Living the fate I was in prior to entering college had drained me emotionally and mentally, and I was not who I used to be. Family members touching you despite knowing you were aware of the situation felt as if it were okay for them to do so. It felt normal to me that I was unable to voice my feelings to my parents when all they did was ignore my pain. I felt embarrassed and ashamed when I was unable to tell anyone. I thought it was okay to not have anyone by my side to tell me that was not right, Joy. The pain in my life at the time was so great, it got the best of me that I felt numb to everything. I stopped caring about everyone and wanted better for myself and my career. The only thing that made me feel better at that time was music. I loved making music so much that I felt relieved from the pain I had built up. I had to change something in my life. It is with great disappointment that I have to share that even though I used to consider family members as family, I no longer consider them as such. Although you would think that family members would be there for you in your most challenging times, in actuality, they create more traumatic memories and horrible memories for you.
What up, what up? Hey, lovelies. We are now on Apple Podcasts. Yes. For my iPhone users, just a little something for you. Head over to the Apple Podcast app and type in Whitney DTV in the search bar and click the check to add me to your dashboard and listen to your girl on the go. Powered by Anchor FM by way of Spotify. Hey, Whitney D here. Enjoying this Audible? Great. Make sure to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this so I can bring you more. Let's get back to the reading.
An experience of a lifetime. It's like a memory of yesterday for me when I saw Robert was going to perform in my city. I had to get tickets. I was really a big fan of Robert, so I decided that I wouldn't miss out on it. As I recall picking out my outfit and hairstyle, I was eager to catch Robert's attention. Being one of the girls that Robert called backstage on the night of the concert and just being able to attend one of his concerts was the highlight of my life. It was backstage that I had an experience that I will never forget. Now, upon entering the backstage door, the people he had around were very secluded, watching every angle, which was understandable because it was R. Kelly, and there were many younger girls my age backstage. My sole purpose was to catch Robert's attention as I walked in screaming at the top of my lungs. Robert immediately came to me and put his hands around my hip, gripping my butt and calling me beautiful and various flattering names. Once I explained to him how I created music, I asked if he would like to listen to it. When I first encountered Robert, he was extremely passionate about my music. He invited me to his studio that night with his crew and a few other girls. I knew there would be competition, but he was always watching me, although there were other girls there. As I played my music, everyone was bopping their heads and saying, "Damn, girl, you can sing." It was the best feeling in the world. All Robert's friends constantly told me I think you found the new Aaliyah. When Robert pulled me to the side, he informed me he wanted me to live with him and he would assist me in my music career. It was a very curious moment for me at the time, but I was cautious nonetheless. My answer was yes, but I'm still in college. He responded, Daddy has everything you need right here. He pulled out a stack of cash. I wasn't concerned about the money at the time. I just wanted to improve my music. On the night of the studio session, he became very flirty with me and told me he had a nice house in Atlanta, which he showed me after we finished. When I walked into the house, looking at all the amazing interior, I could not believe what I was seeing. As I walked into the house, it felt almost like I was in a dream. The house was gorgeous and had everything I needed. I informed Robert that I did not think staying here was a good idea since I had school and other responsibilities. I was always persuaded by him with money, saying I should not leave because this is an opportunity that no one else will ever have, and I leave, I'll regret it. When I was convinced to stay, I stayed for 3 days, which was something my parents and friends were worried about, I suppose. Receiving texts and calls every minute of the day, I told Robert that my parents were concerned about me and that I wasn't sure I could stay here any longer. I was notified 3 days ago by my professor that I had missed assignments, having been absent from my class for 3 days. I was concerned about this. After Robert came to me and told me that he had all this money, I did not need to attend college anymore. As he gripped me around the waist and whispered, Daddy will always be here for you and he will make you the best star I can. I was staying in Robert's guest room, writing music for those 3 days, keeping me distracted from this big life change. I didn't have any clothing here. Robert bought me some regular clothes to wear, and some were very sexy and grown-up outfits. I had no clue why he bought me these hoary outfits until his assistant informed me that Robert wanted me to wear it for some occasion, which was a spandex and a see-through bra. I didn't question it, thinking perhaps he wanted me to look cute. Toward the end of the night, Robert came into the guest room, sat near the edge of the bed, and asked me, "Who's Daddy?" I answered, "You." And he replied, "Good girl." I was nervous, but Robert assured me that it would be okay. He placed his hands around my neck, making it difficult for me to breathe, and he called me names that I never suspected him to call me: a whore, a slut. Afterwards, he told me to remove my bra so he could see my breasts better. I felt very uncomfortable since I had never done this with anyone else before. In the beginning, I had no concept of what kinks were, but Robert had quite a few. It opened my eyes to a lot that I never knew and was very interested in, but quite disgusting when you think about it. I stripped off my clothes in the bathroom as Robert instructed me to get nasty with him. I figured nothing of it until he instructed me to open my mouth on my knees. As soon as he urinated on me and inside my mouth, I felt compelled to vomit, but I didn't. After a few nights of doing this with Robert, I became used to it. He loved to try new things with me. He made me lick his anus, and it turned me off. But he bought whatever I wanted if I did that for him.
What up, what up? Hey, lovelies. We are now on Apple Podcasts. Yes, yes, yes. For my iPhone users, just a little something for you. Head over to the Apple Podcast app and type in Whitney DTV in the search bar and click the check to add me to your dashboard and listen to your girl on the go. Powered by Anchor FM by way of Spotify. Hey, Whitney D here. Enjoying this Audible? Great. Make sure to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this so I can bring you more. Let's get back to the reading. Our pain. Robert was very aware of what happened to me and the problems of my parents, so I cried to him and told him all the stories I had suffered. Because I had no one to listen to my stories of pain for all my life, he made me feel relieved as if he were my therapist. I told him everything, and he was there to wipe my tears off my cheek and told me that that was not okay and that we were going to make things better from here on out. He has struggled with the media for years, portraying him as a horrible monster when he only wanted a perfect girl. He explained to me that losing Aaliyah has caused him to do horrible drugs and that he has had to deal with his demons. As much as he wanted me to become his Aaliyah, he was afraid of losing me, which led him to become extremely demanding, obsessive over me, and unable to let me leave his sight at all. Robert started to call me his sexy little Aaliyah, or sometimes just Aaliyah, but I would have to remind him that I'm Joy. Since he did not like that I was on social media or in contact with anyone, I became isolated from everyone. But at the time, I felt this was okay since I had everything I wanted. I had money, we were traveling, and I had everything I needed. It seemed I was always being monitored by Robert's team. In fact, he pays them very well, and they have signed NDAs not to speak ill of him or say anything negative. He even paid them to manage me, to make sure that I did not say anything negative in public. Sister, girlfriend, or enemy. My experience traveling with Robert for every concert every day was fun yet exhausting. Jumping from city to city and receiving all this free service from his team was amazing. Watching him perform some of my favorite songs from the side of the stage made me fall in love with him even more. I didn't like Robert inviting girls backstage while performing at each concert, even though some of the girls were strangely young. I couldn't say much about it. Although Robert had his eyes on this one girl, she was very energetic and tried showing off her singing skills to Robert and just trying to impress him in all ways, which I thought was really corny at the time. But Robert decided to take her with us on the road with us. Robert informed me that I'm still his baby girl, even though he wanted her to join the relationship with us. I was here for it due to the fact she was way younger than me. Robert gave her everything she wanted, including money, new clothes, luxury bags, and jewelry. At that time, the new girl that was traveling with us was going through a mental crisis. She explained to me that she did not know what to do and that her parents were concerned about her. We were instructed not to inform anyone of where we were and what we were doing, so they believed that she had gone missing due to the fact that she did not contact them. Our phones were confiscated a couple of days later by Robert's team for safety reasons, explaining that people could possibly track our IP addresses and we could not use cell phones. Robert's team was nice in public, but very rude and demanding when things did not go their way. We were able to keep our phones, but not at times when Robert's circumstances became difficult. In spite of the fact that I looked at the new girl as my sister, Robert felt we should get closer, even though I considered her a sister. Robert and her had been intimate just a few days in, but I didn't like that. But of course, Robert persuaded me into getting nasty with her, and he made us do kinky things while recording us with him. She was into it, but over time it became normal.
As soon as we returned to Atlanta, I moved into Robert's room. After the girl took the guest room, we did the same thing every night, doing sexual favors for Robert, which became tiresome for me. I wanted to record and work on music, yet we barely did that. He promised that we would visit the studio a few weeks ago, but we never did. When Robert stopped giving her money, gifts, started lying, the girl snapped, and they had a huge argument. She missed her family and decided she didn't want to be here anymore. But Robert put his hands on her and left her with a black eye and several bruises. Initially, I wanted to jump in, but some of Robert's team stayed at the house and stopped me. This eventually became tedious, writing music every day and not being able to record any pieces because he had other important businesses to handle. After living with Robert for a few months, I didn't like him for what he turned into. But me and the girl became closer over time, and we promised to always be there for each other no matter the scenario. Well, I thought. But once she saw how flirtatious Robert was towards me, she developed a lot of animosity towards me. We did get into a few arguments. One day we were cool. The next day I was a bitch. The next day we were like sisters. I think being here with Robert had caused her to become very bipolar. It was like an on and off switch. I've always told the girl she's a great singer, and I've tried to give her advice, but she just always gives me this stuck-up attitude. Eventually, Robert took us to the studio so we could record the songs we've been working on for months. We laid down background vocals for a few tracks he promised he would release in the coming months. And we actually recorded some songs for him that never got released. Robert and his team prepared us for interviews every other week just in case. We were required to speak out, and we had our good days as well as our terrible days. We did that, and we read lines over and over until we had it right. It was exhausting, but Robert made sure we were doing everything correctly. He gave us a list of things we were not permitted to mention in interviews, and if we did, he threatened us with consequences. There was no doubt in my mind regarding the fact that we was under a spell because Robert made us feel so special no matter what he asked us to do. He made his language to us very sensational and sexually overpowering. Most of the time, we were unaware of what was going on in the media because we had no social media, but we assumed it was for a bad reason. But he told us that bad publicity is always a positive thing.
What up, what up? Hey, lovelies. We are now on Apple Podcasts. Yes, yes, yes. For my iPhone users, just a little something for you. Head over to the Apple Podcast app and type in WhitneyD TV in the search bar and click the check to add me to your dashboard and listen to your girl on the go. Powered by Anchor FM by way of Spotify. Hey, Whitney D here. Enjoying this Audible? Great. Make sure to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this so I can bring you more. Let's get back to the reading.
Come back, Robert. When we learned that Robert was going to be sent to prison, we thought that it was the end and we would have to split. Even though the girl was ready to leave but stayed for the money instead. Despite the fact that Robert and his team made sure we were set, he didn't want us splitting up and leaving. In spite of being aware of his actions and the reasons for his imprisonment, the girl felt that she needed to leave since Robert was no longer present. His team managed our every move, but she decided to leave. Although she kept telling me that she was going to leave, I advised her to wait. On the day I and the girl argued, Robert's team booked us a couple of nights at his condo. She believed she could embarrass me and expose me to the world when I had been nothing but a sister to her. At some point, we ended up fighting for the first time. I had snapped due to all the stress Robert was causing for being sent to jail, but she was making matters worse by arguing with me constantly. After Robert's team had difficulty controlling the girl, she threatened to inform the whole world that if they did not let her go and end their contract with her, she would tell the whole world. They decided to let her return home. They informed Robert that it would be best if he simply let her go and return to her family. The end result was that she smeared my name all over social media, and Robert's team told me not to get swept up in it. Bundle of joy. As a result of being unable to speak to or hear from Robert after he was sent to jail, I really missed him. Robert found ways to surprise me with gifts he sent to me. However, it was not as meaningful as him being here in person. His team informed me that they are working hard to clear his name and he could be released soon. But I knew that wasn't happening anytime soon. When I awoke on the morning of the following day, Rob's team had delivered another gift to my house, and it was the most beautiful engagement ring I had even seen in my life. Tears were raining down my cheeks, and I was overwhelmed with joy, but also with sadness. I wanted Robert to witness this very special moment in my life. Months later, I began experiencing severe morning sickness and was unsure what was wrong with my body. I thought I had contracted C19, but the most amazing news of all was that I was expecting. It was a happy but incomplete time in my life. Today, I am grateful to God for giving me the most precious gift. Robert is extremely excited about the news that I'm having a baby and feels sad that Robert won't be here with us. Moral of the story: follow your dreams. Flow with the unexpected things of life. Joy. Don't be afraid to get away when things get tough. Run. Run far, far, far away. Not everyone is family. I had to learn the hard way, and I'm happy I did. I'm healed. Joy. Love and joy of Robert.
Suja, meaning long, beautiful life, embodies the promise that flows from the cold-pressed beverages it delivers in each and every bottle. Now today they carry on their founder's mission to get the best quality organic and non-GMO beverages into as many hands as possible. Now, I am happy to say I am one of those hands. Yes, I'm Whitney D of WhitneyD TV, and I am a proud ambassador of Suja Juice. I love, personally, their vibrant probiotic juice, and their immunity elderberry shots got me and my family through the roughest times of C19. Now, if you want to find a quick and resourceful way to take on all of your vitamins and nutrients, try SujaJuice.com. Visit the description box down below to get more information and let them know that Whitney D or WhitneyD TV sent you. Bye. SujaJuice.com, okay? And you can actually pick up this juice at any of your retail stores, Walmart or Whole Foods. I am a brand ambassador, okay? SujaJuice.com, okay?